This is Dakota News Now Sports.
It has been 329 days since the most improbable finish in the history of the State U rivalry delivered a stunning South Dakota victory over arch-rival South Dakota State. And today we see what these two can do for an encore. And speaking of long waits, it has been 1,421 days due to the COVID pandemic since South Dakota State got to host their arch-rivals, South Dakota, in this venue, Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium, in front of a sold-out crowd. November 17th, 2018, the last time the Jacks played host in this game. SDSU certainly fired up to do so after losing the last two meetings in the Dakota Dome, yet it was the Coyotes who started fast. Travis Tice with a big 29-yard run into state territory. Coyotes would settle for a field goal and go up 3-0. After stopping SDSU 3 and out, USD looking for some success through the air. Carson Camp underthrows his man and is picked off by Dallas Beanham. In the second quarter now, USD punting. They get a huge break when Jaden Yonke muffs the punt, and the Coyotes jump all over it at the Jackrabbit 9. Looks like they're going to get sure points. 3 plays later on 3rd and goal, Camp for the end zone. Cale Reeder picks it off, and it completely turns the momentum of the game. SDSU marching downfield and taking the lead when Mark Gronowski hits Jackson Yonke, who jukes his defender and races 28 yards. It's 7-3 South Dakota State. Late in the quarter, Jacks at midfield, and the play of the day, Isaiah Davis squirts through a hole and channels his Frisco form, rumbling 47 yards for the score. SDSU up 14-3, and their defense continues to harass the Coyotes after a big kick return got USD down to the 20. Reese Winkleman sacks Camp. The Coyotes had a field goal block, and Camp came up hurt, left the game for a snap, did return in the second half. Wouldn't matter much, though. SDSU marching down the field to start the third, punctuating it with a 5-yard Davis run, 21-3. Late third quarter, they get it back and go on a 15-play marathon. Gronowski to Jackson Yonke for 25 yards. It all sets up a 4th and goal at the 1 to start the fourth quarter, which Davis puts his stamp on by bullying it in. No miracles this time for the Coyotes. It is a Jackrabbit State as SDSU wins 28-3. And I'm joined by the head coach of the victorious Jackrabbits, John Stiegelmeier. You got the Chamber of Commerce kind of day today, and you kind of had the postcard for your program as a whole in front of this sold-out crowd.
Well, what a crowd, what a day. Jackrabbit football, Coyote football, doesn't get any better than this.
They had 300-plus days, you heard me say it, to see reminders of that game a year ago. How focused were they? It seemed like they really handled it well coming in. It seemed like, but they were ready for this one, weren't they?
Our guys, I don't know if it motivated them, the results of last year, but our guys are motivated to accomplish great things, and I think that's a higher level of motivation. So we played well, and we're on our way.
Defense has been your calling card. I know you've overseen some good defenses over the years. This one's been great so far. What about them allows them to kind of answer the bell? Because they've, again, forced huge turnovers today, the pick in the end zone. Every time they're kind of backed up against it, they seem to make a play.
I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. I think the schemes are good, the techniques are good, but the confidence is out of this world. And when you have that, you're going to make plays that maybe you wouldn't when you're not confident.
Well, do you want to do this again next week? You got another rivalry game coming up here, North Dakota State and Fargo. We know what this means to your fans. It's going to be number 1 versus number 2 in the nation. How do you reset for this? You get 24 hours to enjoy this. How do you come back next week and hopefully do this again at the Fargo Dome?
Well, we do it because we got a bunch of winners in our program. I mean, our players, our coaches, our support staff, and we go 1 week at a time, so we'll reset and we'll get ready to play probably our toughest opponent.
Well, congratulations today, John, and we'll see you up at the Fargo Dome next week for the Dakota Market. We'll have more from the local day in sports coming up tonight at 9 and 10 o'clock. Until then, we'll throw it back to the studio for one last check of your forecast after these messages.